Knowing that this is taking place is going to make people less likely to want to donate their bodies after death for scientific research. Because here's one thing that I've got no interest in: donating a damn thing to the IDF. Anything, nothing. I mean, if I had a family member, an immediate family member, who out of the kindness of their own heart donated their cadaver for scientific research, and I find out that the IDF is doing military trainings on my loved one's cadaver, I would be understandably furious, to say the least. Americans who had generously signed off on donating their own bodies after they pass away for scientific research are now, well, they might be learning that their cadaver isn't necessarily going to go where they would expect it to go. And that's according to some new reporting from Al Jazeera. So Al Jazeera chronicled how American bodies that are donated to scientific research are sent over to the Navy, meaning our military, just to be handed off to Israeli surgeons to be used by the IDF for military training. That sounds crazy, right? That can't be. But you should decide for yourselves. Take a listen.
For years, the University of Southern California, a private university in Los Angeles, has been selling dead bodies to the US Navy for medical training. Some are used in a specialized course run by the Navy and USC that brings Israeli military medics to Los Angeles 4 times a year to train on fresh tissue cadaver bodies. That means the donor died recently and their body is not chemically preserved. Available contracts for these sales date back to 2018.
I think I was actually trying to disprove my initial thoughts, like this can't be the IDF.
This USC-affiliated physician agreed to speak to me on the condition of anonymity because they fear retaliation. They stumbled upon the contracts in 2024, following the university's heavy-handed crackdown on students and faculty protesting the genocide in Gaza.
Every question that came up, I just looked into it, and every answer I found was more horrific than what I had imagined. It violates every ethical lesson that I was ever taught.
Israeli military medics have been training with USC and the Navy since 2013 at the Navy Trauma Training Center here at the LA General Medical Center.
What is it going to take to get these people out of our country? I mean, what is there any facet of American life that they haven't infiltrated to some extent? Why are we training IDF soldiers at USC? What are we doing? Why are we selling cadavers to the Navy, which then sends the cadavers over to the IDF to train on said cadavers, not for scientific research, but for military purposes? And by the way, Americans didn't know about this. So Americans who had, again, generously signed off on donating their bodies to scientific research had no idea that there's a possibility your body could end up with the IDF. The donor bodies are frequently sourced from the University of California, and the doctor affiliated with USC, speaking on condition of anonymity, expanded on exactly how these bodies are being used, and it's horrifying. So trigger warning, but if you want to know, here it is.
The fact that they're using refused cadavers, they basically reanimate people pretty shortly after death. They reinfuse fluids mixed with dyed water. They put them on a pump to simulate a pulse again. They're making them look like they're alive again, basically.
Several trauma surgeons from across the US confirmed to us that using perfused cadavers is not standard, especially because of the associated costs.
They definitely have simulated bodies that they can use.
Though little to no public information exists about the Israeli military course, a 2020 report written by USC and US Navy instructors offers a rare glimpse inside. It describes a 4-day combat trauma surgery skills course with trainees who are part of forward surgical teams from the Israeli military. That means they're deployed to operate on those wounded near the front lines. The report says that trainees treat simulated combat injuries, including gunshot wounds to the chest and leg and blast injuries to the face and torso. While it's unclear how exactly this training is applied today, there has been an increase in senior Israeli military doctors and surgeons embedding with units on the front lines in Gaza since October 2023.
Again, okay, the donor agreements do not disclose that the bodies may be used for military medics, Israeli military medics. And one of the most disturbing elements of this story is that the families are not even told what is happening to their loved one's body. So this is beyond infuriating because we want people to donate their cadavers to scientific research. Scientific research is incredibly important. And stories like this, and I'm glad that this story is out there, but the cold hard truth is that knowing that this is taking place is going to make people less likely to want to donate their bodies after death for scientific research. Because here's one thing that I've got no interest in: donating a damn thing to the IDF. Anything, nothing. I mean, if I had a family member, an immediate family member, who out of the kindness of their own heart donated their cadaver for scientific research, and I find out that the IDF is doing military trainings on my loved one's cadaver, I would be understandably furious, to say the least. So let's go to the next video. I don't know if I can stomach it, but let's go to the next video.
Jeanette was a force. She was the matriarch of the family.
She really did want her body to go to training the next generation of doctors.
Jeanette Volpin died in 2021 at the age of 101 and donated her body to USC. Her daughter and granddaughter have been reeling from the news.
When I saw the article that came out from the journalism students, I was furious and sick to my stomach.
Was Jeanette ever told that there would be the possibility that her body would be used in training with military?
Absolutely not.
No, she was not told that, nor were we.
Had she known that, do you think she would have been comfortable donating her body to USC?
I don't think so. I believe she would have made a different choice if she had known that.
Have you been able to find closure?
You know, things felt very settled, especially once we did get her ashes back, which, I mean, at this point, are they even her ashes? You know, it really has destroyed any trust.
Obviously that makes me think about my own mom, and that was difficult to watch. Okay, so I have to clarify something. I misspoke, so I want to make sure you guys have accurate information. So USC sources the bodies from the University of California, San Diego, not from University of California. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that. This is wrong, and I'm grateful that this is something that was reported on, so we are aware of it. Now, mainstream media could be all over this story, but they're not. And so the reason Al Jazeera covered it and why we now know about it is because of a group of concerned student journalists at USC who blew the whistle. So thank you to those students, and thank you to Al Jazeera for doing this report.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.